Please hang up and try again.
Rumbling Man here today, coming to you live from Seattle, Washington. How's it going? Number 2 of 2 today. I was drinking 6 to 7 sodas until a doctor told me that I needed to cut back because it was causing me stomach problems. Here today to discuss one of my favorite basses in the world. A bass that has been a great instrument for me, and I think anybody who plays one of these cannot deny that Squier by Fender has really made something special. I'm Daniel Childs, or Rumbling Man, as I'm known on the web and on my blog, which is rumblingman.tumblr.com. Drop by sometime for reviews, bass stuff. Real quick before I show you the bass, I want to say thanks to the people who recently subscribed to my YouTube channel. People are starting to subscribe, which is cool. I'm starting to make some friends on YouTube, which I really appreciate. I made this channel and the blog and everything because I'm so passionate about bass that I wanted to be able to get my bass guitar thoughts out and everything that goes on in my head about bass. You know, I want to be able to discuss it with people in a public way, and I really appreciate you guys subscribing. All right, today we're taking a look at the Squier by Fender Classic Vibe 1960s style precision bass, or P bass as it is known. Here's mine. It's a great bass. It comes in Fiesta Red with a tortoiseshell pickguard, or in Sonic Blue with a white pickguard. And the pickguards come with a thumb rest right here, which was just like it was customary in the 60s. However, I have changed the pickguard on this bass because the white was kind of boring me, and the thumb rest was cool, but whatever. And so I changed this pickguard, and something cool to know is that any American P-bass pickguard will fit this bass. Though this is Squier and Chinese made, it will fit this bass. There's a lot of stigma around Squier because, you know, in the 80s and whatnot, when Squier was started, it was all about making good instruments by Fender for a lower price. But in the 90s, late 90s, 2000s, Squier developed this stigma about it of being the beginner's instrument. My first guitar was a Squier. I mean, it developed this stigma about being a beginner's instrument. But I think lately people are starting to see again that Squier makes some instruments that are professional level. This Classic Vibe series, in my personal opinion, is their best series. They made 3 different basses, and they're all amazing. A 60s jazz, a 60s precision, and a 50s precision. And they're awesome basses. Feel great, play great, they're amazing, great price. The Squier also makes a vintage modified series that makes some really good basses. And I think that people are starting to notice, you know, that Squier is not, when it comes to bass, now listen, I'm just talking about bass. I don't know about their guitars. You know, I don't play electric guitar anymore. But when it comes to bass, I think people are starting to take a notice that Squier makes some professional level basses. I'll tell you this Squier Classic Vibe P bass is a better bass than any Mexican Fender precision or jazz bass I've ever played. I personally don't like the way the Mexican Fenders are built. In fact, I sold one just the other day. I love the way the American Fenders are built, but I would take a Squier bass, as long as it's the vintage modified or Classic Vibe series. I would take a Squier bass over a Mexican Fender bass any day. And this one is particularly great. I have done very minimum setup work on it. I put these new strings on it several months ago. Elixir strings. Elixir bass strings, they really last. I mean, it was probably 7 or 8 months ago I put these on, and they're still holding up great. I did adjust the saddles a little bit just to try to get the strings right, and it's looking good. I also replaced the pickguard. Other than that, I haven't had to do any work on this, which is good because I'm not really a bass setup genius. I just like to play. Also, we have the cool 60s customary ashtray cover over the saddles, over the bridge there, which is really sweet. I really like the wood they use. Now, my favorite kind of fretboard is maple. As far as rosewood fretboards go, this is probably my favorite rosewood. It just feels great. It does not offend me, and the neck is awesome. This is maple. It's a pure laminated maple. It feels good. It's got that expensive old school Fender feel to it. and it's technically called Vintage Tinted Maple because with the whole vintage 60s theme, they tinted the maple to be vintage. CE, obviously cutaway electric, crafted in China, but just an awesome, awesome bass. It holds tune. It plays great. Now, I know that sometimes with Fenders it may vary bass to bass, but I'm telling you, this is an awesome bass. If you're looking for a precision bass and you're on a budget, you don't want to spend a lot of money, but you want a quality bass, I highly, highly, highly recommend the Squier Classic Vibe Precision Bass. I'm not mainly a P-bass player, but this, in a very beautiful way, delivers the classic P-bass experience. It's just like the 1960s precision basses from shape and everything. And so let's plug it up. I'm going to play 3 types of playing for you. I'm going to do a slap style, a pick style, and a finger funk style so you can kind of get an idea of how this thing sounds. Again, I very highly recommend and endorse this bass as well as any other Squier Classic Vibe bass. The Jazz is great, the 50s P is great. These are some really great basses, and I highly recommend them.